An American hero involved in early testing in the 1950s for what would become the space program. Retired U.S. Air Force officer Lieutenant Colonel Yates later became a civil rights leader. He led sit-ins throughout the 1960s, leading to integration, forging change in Jacksonville and far beyond. This is Changemakers. Within the Yates home, situated along the Ribault River, you'll notice keepsakes on display. But none tell the story of a past paved with strife, quite like the 87-year-old man granted many opportunities to use his voice.
A, you're adorable. B, you're so beautiful. C, you're a cutie full of charm.
Married now for 63 years, that voice won over his wife.
You don't know that song?
No, I've never heard that. I've heard the alphabet like that.
Oh, yeah. I used to sing that song to her all the time, and she used to love it. She used to just melt when I sang it.
His voice also served as a catalyst for change while serving under several mayoral administrations in Jacksonville. But it was Yates's mind and body that were put to the test in the United States Air Force in the 1950s as a high-speed rocket sled test volunteer at what became the Aerospace Research Laboratory, developing methods of simulating space travel on Earth.
There's always a little bit of fear of the unknown, but when you are afforded an opportunity to be a part of something that is new, that can be useful, I just don't know how you resist that.
Yates risked his life more than 65 times. His story, inked in History in Ebony magazine, detailed life at Holloman.
There was absolutely no segregation. I mean, you forgot that segregation and racism even existed when you were at Holloman.
Discharged from the Air Force after his father became terminally ill, Yates would have to travel back in time home to Jacksonville, where racism was alive and well.
And I remember seeing this billboard on the side of the road, and it said, "Erected by Knights of the Ku Klux Klan," and it had these drawings, these pictures of black men hanging from trees. And the sign at the bottom of that billboard said, using the N-words, "Don't let the sun set on you in whatever county that was."
Unable to sit in restaurants along the way from New Mexico to Jacksonville, a loaf of bread and peanut butter, that was all the American hero had to eat.
On the rest of that drive, I made a determination that once I got home and got my dad situated, I would work just as hard to try to eliminate those kinds of conditions and other people feeling what I had felt.
And he'd go on to do just that as the vice president of the NAACP's Youth Council.
As in much of the South, racial tensions built up in Jacksonville during the year.
Organizing demonstrations, including one that marked a brutal day of racially motivated violence in Duval's downtown, an Axe Handle Saturday.
Just as we got seated, and then somebody saw us, and they started moving into that store and beating us with the axe handles. I got a scar on the back of my head from one.
Many of Yates' scars from his accomplishments over the years are no longer visible. These days, you won't find him pushing his body to the limit, but that voice can still be heard as he continues to speak up for civil rights for all, and on occasion, serenade his bride.
D, you're a darling, and E, you're exciting. For F, you're a feather in my arms. G, you look good to me. H,
In addition to the research he did to determine the effects of space travel on the human body, Yates' work also led to the development of seatbelts in cars and planes. You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville. We'll see you right back here in just about 3 minutes.
Marilyn, my friend, is really a man who dresses up like a woman.
Oh, now hold on. That doesn't make any sense.